Hi, my name is Christopher Ray. I'll be speaking about the negotiation between Prince versus Warner Records. Artists face many obstacles when trying to retain ownership of the valuable intellectual property they create and perform. The legendary Prince had a highly publicized and turbulent split from Warner Records in 1996 when he called himself a slave to the label, changed his name to a symbol, and condemned the way the major label system worked. This ultimately broke their rapport for over 18 years. Prince and Warner Records in 2014 negotiated on the terms of ownership of Prince's catalog and future releases. Prince's main interest in the negotiation with Warner Records was to secure ownership of master recording and full control over the release of his music. Warner Records Warner Records' interest was to release Prince's new releases while retaining ownership of his master recordings. Prince's negotiation position was a request for ownership of master recordings and control of when he releases music for future releases. Warner uh, Records negotiation position was to retain ownership of the catalog and be a part of Prince's future releases. Three additional concepts from class that played a role in this negotiation were rapport, credibility, and reestablished trust. A lack of rapport and a need to reestablish trust between Prince and Warner Records played a role in the negotiation. For Prince to agree to any new terms, Warner would have to provide offers that would allow for Prince to regain a sense of rapport and trust. Prince's credible history as a recording artist and performer contributed to the decisions made to reach a non-zero sum agreement, a win-win. A Warner had to acknowledge the value Prince brought while in negotiation. The pros of the negotiation between Warner Records and Prince was after 18 years of battling, Prince was able to gain ownership of master recordings without drawn-out litigation while retaining privacy during the dispute. Using alternative dispute resolution reduced reduced the time and cost spent to handle the dispute. The relationship between Prince and Warner Records was reestablished under terms that both found mutually beneficial. Warner Records was able to be a part of the release of the 30th anniversary of the album, movie Purple Rain, and release of new album. The cons of the negotiation: Warner Records was backed into a corner due to the Copyright Revision Act of 1976 because it provides an artist the ability to terminate master recording copyright after 35 years were granted. This could start a trend over other artists that have reached the 35-year threshold to request ownership of their masters. You could also perceive that Warner Records took a loss due to the value of Prince's catalog sold 20 million copies. In conclusion, an agreement was met between Prince and Warner Records. Uh, Prince retained ownership of his catalog. Warner Bros. Records was able to continue licensing his catalog while also retaining the ability to be a part of Prince's future releases. The negotiation between Warner Records was a win-win and will foster long-term, meaningful relationship by releasing new music and global partnership of all albums released from 1978 through the 90s. Prince and Warner Music's relationship was revived through mutual understanding of one of each other's mutual interests, as well as um, looking to rekindle the once established relationship they once had. I think it was very important that um, they focused on um, these contributions, and it allowed them both to come to a win-win. Thank you.